Welcome, everyone. Salutations. My name's Simon. I am the Universal Mechanic, and I hope to be your guide on this new show where hopefully I can show you how spiritualism, energy, the universe, how it can all interact with our everyday lives, how it can affect us, how it can change us emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And hopefully we can wander our way through lives that little bit happier, that little bit kinder, and a little bit more humbleness and gratitude, I suppose. And hopefully we can make a change to this world, make a change to the direction, I suppose, that we all feel that the life can be going. So, who am I? Well, my name's Simon. I'm Simon Stone. And through my life experiences, as everybody else has, I suppose, we all find a path in our life that can take us in different directions. We learn different skills, learn different things. We have traumas, we have dramas, we have happy moments, we have emotional moments. And if we all just pause for a second and look at our lives and where it goes, I'm sure we can put a few flags in the ground and realize where our lives take in different directions. And that can sometimes take us to a place where we don't feel like we're in control, that life is controlling us and where we're going. And I had that belief throughout life. I never really felt that I was in control of my own life. And I made mistakes. I lost friends. I lost some family. We all lose things for our own mistakes. But we don't realize the mistakes until afterwards, and the hindsight and everything else. And we have to learn this life is about growth. Us as an individual, as a soul, as an energy entity. And as much as I love connecting to spirit and giving readings and helping people, I also understand that to learn that and to learn me, I had to find a place that made me happy, made me comfortable and at peace with who I am. And in doing that, I learned about universal energy. I learned about how we're spirit in our own souls. Our soul is spirit. And to be able to separate the consciousness from the brain, from your heart, the emotions, your gut feeling, your instincts. I mean, the list is endless. I could go on with all the different words and superlatives, but we have to end up finding what's comfortable with us and what's with ourselves. And this is where, if we go on a journey, we will find these things, and we have to look within, and we have to look at our lives and look at our programming and look what we've learned, and decide which things are good for us and which things are not good for us anymore, and discard and remove and change the things that we need to, and help us to grow and become better people. And in doing that, we shine a light to others, and we become the example to others, not by control or manipulation or telling people what they should do, but by being at peace with ourselves and living the life that we want to live, be happy, choosing the paths that we want to go on, having our eyes wide open, but also learning and becoming a better person and enjoying the ride and enjoying the adventure. And life is one magical thing to do. Once you give up the surrender and you give up the power of control and you hand over that control and that surrender to a higher power, an energy, a belief, and you're willing to just see how life unfolds, that is so freeing. And we get caught up, and there's this word going around the matrix, or saying going around the matrix, we're all caught up in the matrix of everyday life, trying to survive, trying to make money, trying to get by and make our lives better for us and our children, and so on and so forth. And we get caught up into this cycle, this hamster wheel of life, and we never truly feel free. How often do we just stop and breathe? So hopefully, if you join me on this journey, on this new show that I'm doing, it's an honor and pleasure to be on Psychic Radio, Air One Radio Network, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. You pick up a few pointers, and a few things may resonate with you along the way and help you along the way. I mean, I may give the odd reading throughout the times. I take phone calls, and each week I'm going to be talking about a particular subject, and all the various different things and how they can all connect. I'm also going to be arranging interviews with various people that I feel would be uh, great for knowledge to be given out there. There's also people I want to promote because of some of the good work that they do, and in particular, there's an institution called the Totton Spiritualist Church in Southampton in UK, England, and they do amazing work. They're doing a campaign at the moment to try and raise funds and money so they can get presents for children that get no presents at Christmas. They run a food bank. They do amazing things. They do services each week, mediumship service, and they do great work for the community. And it's an example of how people can just give a moment of their time, a moment of their life to give to other people, and the brightness and the shine and the positivity that that gives to everyone. And maybe some people's lives are too busy that they can't, you know, do that because of the situation now, and that's through no fault of their own. But just walking around with a smile, with that energy, that positivity that, yeah, you may be facing battles. Yeah, you may be facing things to deal with, but you can still smile and you can still give a stranger a little pick me up each day. It costs nothing at all. So that's where I'm coming from. I want to show people and talk about subjects. So if there's anyone out there you want subject, please write in and we'll try and fit them in. We'll talk about subjects. If you want to call in and ask any questions about the universe and how you think it all works, or even just give an opinion, please do so. I'm all for that. Say how you feel. This is what this is about. It's about you. It's about how you feel. Are you happy? Are you not happy? If you are, what makes you happy? Talk about what what you find that interests you. So if you've got Cambria and Erie, Pennsylvania, in USA, go ahead.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm trying to contact my great uncle. Passed away back in April. I didn't know about it until maybe a week or two ago. I'm trying to contact him because I'm trying to find out what happened to him.
I'm going to be honest with you. As soon as you started talking to me, I started to feel really quite nauseous and quite sick. So, and I do get quite a severe illness towards the end with him. And I'm going to say this. I think it's actually more your energy. I do feel that there's things going on in your life where you need to speak your truth, speak your words, because I get a constricted throat, and I get with what you're saying. You're trying to find things out because it feels like you feel like you want to say a few words. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, that makes sense.
It's like you need to speak your own truth. I feel a frustration around you, but I also feel like I feel a distance, as though there's an isolation, as though you feel like you've been made to feel isolated. Would that understand on an energy level, on a love level, with family?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I understand that, and this is where I feel you need to speak your truth. I think you need to contact people and speak with them. That's the feeling I'm getting, and I feel if you do that, and would you understand that they're trying to show me and they're trying to tell me that there's a specific person in the family that you could talk to that would actually have a sympathetic ear, as it were, and would actually listen to you and go, okay, yeah, I understand. And I'm getting from that conversation, it will open doors that you won't feel so isolated. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of Chinese whispers going on, and people assuming one thing when in actual fact it's something else. And again, this is where they're showing me you need to speak up and say how you feel. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. How well did you know this great uncle?
Pretty well. He was
Right, because
my Great.
The reason why I'm asking, I don't need any more than that. The fact that you knew him pretty well, so I can tell you things and you would understand. It's not like he's a relative that you didn't know or you only knew when you were a child or whatever. But I do feel I've got a gentleman that's with me, and I do feel he's making me feel he's quite tall, but he's got quite an energy presence. And I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it's almost like he's showing me that when he was around, everybody listened to him. It's like his voice had authority.
Kind of. Yeah.
If it's not him, then it's somebody else. But there's an older gentleman and I got it twice. As soon as I started speaking to you, I got a military connection with this gentleman as well.
Military. He wasn't in the military. I'm not sure.
Then why am I
Is.
seeing okay, that's fine, but why am I seeing or being made to feel that there's like a sergeant major feel to this? So he may not be in the military, but he may have been nicknamed the Sergeant Major. Why am I getting feeling that there's someone who, when they barked, he barked orders and everyone done as they were told? That's the feeling of the male energy I've got around me at the moment.
I'm not sure. I don't think that was him.
It may not be him.
I'm not sure who that would be.
No, that's fine, but it's definitely someone who's connected to you. And I would even say it's grandfather. I would say this grandfather because the uniform I'm also seeing is around World War II. I'm seeing an older uniform.
Grandfather.
Or it's on level, but you need to speak with someone in the family. But when you're saying you want to connect to this great uncle and everything else, right? Are there moments when you feel that he's around you?
Yes, there are moments where I feel he's around me. Yes.
Right. They're the moments you need to speak with him because I bet you there's some situations where you feel he's around you and how can I explain it? You're doing simple things. You could just be in the kitchen, making a drink or something. Sometimes it can be at simple times, and you think to yourself, well, sometimes it can just be spirit showing you that they're around you. And that can come across either by smells, a feeling, a thought. They pop into your head for no reason at all. You just start thinking about them, and then you get hairs up on your neck. They're all different things, all different signs. So when you get that feeling that he's around you, that's when you want to speak with him. Because just because you're a human and they're a spirit, there is still a connection of energy that will allow a form of communication. Now, because we're humans and we haven't evolved to a degree yet, I believe it's just a science we yet to tap into. So I feel that spirit can connect to us by thoughts, feelings, images, all those sort of things that come out of nowhere that remind us of this person, and that's them saying, hi, it's me. And that's when I take the opportunity to say, okay, hi, how are you, what are you up to, and have a conversation with them.
Right.
Okay, so I do feel if you do that, you'll be quite surprised by you could talk to them in your head and thinking you're going crazy or a bit, thinking you're a bit strange that some people can think we are, but you'll be surprised with the images and the thoughts that you get in reply to your question. And you'll feel that you'll just know that those answers didn't come from you. Would that make sense?
Yes.
Give it a go, and I think you'll be surprised.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Could you pop that one back up again? I saw the name. I hope you call back again and listen. And hope you continue listening. Thank you for calling in. So who we got next? We got Suzette. Suzette from Canada. Are you there?
I am. How are you?
I'm very well, Suzette. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
What's your interest in spiritual and all aspects of energy in the universe? How do you see it?
What I think of it so far,
Yeah.
it's been amazing. I've learned the art of manifestation, so that's been fun. we're just asking the universe for things. But I was wondering if there was any spirit message for me, or
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. You're on the edge of a precipice, and you really want to take that leap of faith. And it's almost like you need to let go and take that jump. There's almost like a project or a new path of life, or there's something new that you want to take the plunge in, and they're saying go for it.
oh,
Would that
perfect.
make
Yeah, I
sense?
was just offered a job yesterday.
Then go for it. I'm being told, and it's a completely new direction. And it's almost like I'm getting the feeling it's almost along the lines of something you've always wanted to do, not what you have to do. Does that make sense?
It does. It is actually something that I wanted to do almost 6 years ago.
And yeah, go for it. And I'm seeing you've talked about manifestation. You manifested this. You've asked for this.
I
May
did,
not
and that's
may
why
not
I was.
may not be this job specifically, but this job may be a stepping stone to where you actually want to get to.
Okay. That's how I
Does
felt
that
yesterday. I felt like this was going to be a stepping stone for me.
Yeah. Can you understand, Suzette? When we manifest and we want something to change in our life, so we do these things to manifest it, whether it's meditation, whether it's, whatever, all the different things that we can do, positive thinking and image boards and whatever it is that you've done to manifest it. But to make those things happen, other things have to change or be removed out of our lives. And us as humans, we fall into that trap that when we start losing things, we think things are going wrong. When in actual fact, that's when it's going right, because things are changing to then allow the things that we wanted to happen and the things that we're trying to manifest to happen.
Okay.
Do you
So my husband
understand?
has broken up with me.
Okay.
And then now things are starting to roll for me. So then I was
Okay.
wondering if that was.
Well, we're talking about a very emotional subject, and please accept my, my love and light and sympathies for you. But also, can you understand how you just said things have started to roll for you?
Yes,
Does that make sense? Can you
it
understand
makes a
how
lot of
energy?
sense.
Do you understand? So you can still be humble and kind and deal with things nicely and have, a good relationship with your husband, ex-husband, or whatever he turns out to be. But you've also got to be true to who you are and authentic. And if you're happy, then other people benefit from that. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
And as painful as some decisions can be, sometimes they can be the right decision. Now, I'm not advising, I'm not anyone's life coach. I don't know every step of your life and I don't know the details and I shouldn't have to know them. All I'm saying is when we talk about the universe and energy, when we manifest things and we ask for things and all that, we have to be very specific for what we want. Because you've heard of that saying, be careful what you ask for because you may just get it. Because when we ask for things, we 99% of the time get them with that in a way that we don't expect. We always have a preconceived idea in our head of how we're going to achieve what we're trying to manifest, and you'll find it will never ever happen that way. And this is where we have to hand over that surrender and control to energy and to the higher, to a higher power or whatever it is. Surrender over that control, ask them, this is what we want in our lives, and then go with what happens in our lives, because the universe and energy is changing our lives to accommodate that very thing that we've asked for. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
And in some of those occasions, tough decisions have to be made. But sometimes just listen to your gut instinct and listen to your own soul. Your own soul will direct you. You'll know what's right and what's wrong, what's the right thing to do and what's the wrong thing to do. We as human beings have this inbuilt ability to innately know what's right and what's wrong. We just have that feeling when we're doing something wrong. you know, and I'm sort of broadly speaking here, not everybody. I know there's exceptions to the rule, but in general, when we're doing something wrong, we just have that feeling deep inside. We know that we're doing something wrong. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah. And at
it
the
does.
same time, we also know when we're doing something right because we just have that feeling. And that's our own soul saying to you, yes, no, right, wrong. And if you're doing something and something doesn't feel right, then chances are there's something not quite right. And I've come to learn to believe in my own gut instinct, my own thing, and actually act upon that, and stop allowing my brain to control, because my brain, as any human brain, in my view, it's just a computer chip to run the body. It stores data, etc., etc. But it's our character, our soul, it's who we are that should be making the decisions. But human life traps us into this mental state where our minds end up controlling our lives, when really, if you just follow your own gut instinct, you'll work out what's right and wrong. Does that make sense? And you're obviously a lady that understands about energy. Does that make sense? Is that?
Yes, it does make sense. Thank you.
Have
I
you-
really
I'm
appreciate
just
that.
I'm just getting a feeling I know you said 6 years ago you started manifesting, but I'm also getting a feeling that something happened to you that was quite pivotal and quite an epiphany moment for you on a spiritual level about 5 years ago. You had quite an experience about 5 years ago.
5 years ago. My daughter was born.
Okay, and it was quite a spiritual experience, where it would be, wouldn't it, giving birth to your daughter? And would you understand that I'm being shown that sort of really opened up your mind even more so than what it was before? Does that make sense?
Yes, because I did IVF for her. So I did.
Okay, okay, that's brilliant. So, and I'm being shown as well in that moment, you, like I am now struggling to put it into words, but I get the feeling that you still now struggle to put it into words. But in that moment, you suddenly understood and felt in the pit of your stomach, in your soul, you understood about connection and energy and almost different dimensions in the universe, and how. Am I making sense? Does that you had a real spiritual moment where you felt totally and utterly connected?
Yes, because I was giving up on conceiving, and then the doctor said, I can get you into an IVF clinic. And I was thinking it was going to take 2 years to get into the clinic. And literally, it aligned that I had an appointment the next day, and my husband had court the next day in the exact same area that the IVF clinic was going to be. And that's
Isn't
when
it?
I realized that it was meant to be.
I was just going to say, isn't it amazing how life works?
Yeah, that part was fascinating. And I got a doctor that kind of like a person that I like. He's very direct and very honest. And I had an amazing nurses. Everybody that flowed to me was all amazing. But to have that appointment given to me the very next day, not even 24 hours. I didn't have to wait 24 hours
There you go.
to see the doctor.
There you go. It was meant to happen, and spirit, energy, whatever you like to call it, certainly was working in the background and making these things happen. And when things, and that's the other thing, things happen when they're meant to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, imagine some of the things that you've gone through. Imagine if you went through them 10 years previous to that. Would you emotionally, mentally, and physically been able to cope with them? I doubt if we do. So we're meant to go through the lessons that we go through, and we're meant to experience the experiences that we're meant to grow. And one of the biggest problems we have as humans is fear, and fear stops us on everything. And if we can let go of that fear and experience the bad as well as the good, it's one of the most fulfilling and enriching ways of living life, I think.
Yeah. I'm just learning all that too.
And do you also understand that I do get the feeling of energy? I know that I get the sense of freedom with you. It's almost like you've got a blank canvas now and you've been given the chance to paint the picture that you want. Does that make sense?
Yes, I feel like a little girl who can skip.
Yeah, little child in a sweet shop and paint the picture, and not in a horrible word, not in a horrible way, or not in a selfish way or anything. You finally feel as though you've got to lead the path that you need to lead. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Very. I felt that yesterday when I walked it. Yeah.
And you understand that there may be a little bit of period of time where you will have to clear up a little bit of disruption.
Yeah.
That will.
I feel that.
I'll be honest with you. I shouldn't. Yeah, but I get the feeling the next 2 to 3 months, and it will all start being easier to deal with.
Okay.
Okay.
I figured that.
No problem. But thank you ever so much, Suzette. I hope you continue to listen to me next week. I'll be doing different subjects. I'll post in the websites and all that. There's different subjects that I will be doing. But thank you for your call, and I hope to hear from you again.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. It's been my pleasure. And to everyone else that's listening, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's my first show. I was extremely nervous. Thank you for being so kind, the two ladies that rang in, and everything else. So again, thank you ever so much. I'd love to hear back with the information with the first caller, Camry, the information I got. If you could find out and confirm the details, that would be amazing. But each week's, guys, like I said, I'll be doing different subjects. Manifestation will be one of the subjects at some point. I'll be doing interviews, so I hope that you continue to follow me. Thank you ever so much for everything. It's genuinely been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. I really have. I'm full of energy at the moment. I'm going to have trouble to sleep tonight. I know I will. But as we go on our journey, I'll show you all those tools that I use that helps me get by each life to make me feel a little bit happier. So thanks again. I love you all. Take care.